I was finishing university, and like most people, I had no idea what I wanted to do. With 3 days left, I went to the bookstore and I just bought about 5 books, one on everything I've ever found interesting, and one of them was on agriculture. And then I went and interviewed the day after that, finished uni the day after that, and then I started on the 3rd day. That was literally my intro into agriculture, and I've been there ever since. You can read a newspaper today and there'll be, in some cases, a bit of a vague answer as to why markets did what they did. I went literally day by day trying to figure it out, and when I was looking at day by day in recent history, I noticed that the biggest changes in markets happened when there was a conflict that was starting or some sort of government intervention. And I went, when in history where there were the largest amount of government intervention and the largest conflicts? World War I, World War II, and war in Ukraine is the most recent one.
Do you think wheat is unique in its position in the midst of conflict?
I think wheat is important regardless of what part of history we're in and specific or period we're in, and especially during conflict. It is critical. It is the number one food staple that everyone focuses on, and because of that, it holds quite a strong priority in terms of government food reserves, in terms of priorities of what governments actually do during conflict. So wheat is incredibly important. The challenge in both of the wars was that freight suddenly disappeared. It was either requisitioned for government use, it was sunk by the enemy, or it simply didn't want to come to Australia because it was afraid that the government would take it and use it itself. So we had a significant shortage of freight, nothing to do with the grain. It started piling up across the country. And in World War II, they said, why don't we create more domestic demand? What's the best domestic demand you can create in that sort of volatile scenario? Well, create a crop-based fuel industry. And it's not just to say you have to use wheat, you can use other crops. But back then, they decided to create one based on wheat because there was a lot of it around. They didn't have much fuel that was being imported, so they had a shortage of fuel, and they killed 2 birds with 1 stone. We're an immensely export-focused country. The majority of what we produce goes overseas. The other important thing to note from my book is I'm not theorizing that we're heading to the scenario of a global conflict. I'm saying we're heading to a more volatile geopolitical environment. We're probably going to land somewhere in between where we are now and what we saw in those really considerable conflicts. So it's important to look at what did we have to do back then? How did we survive as an industry 100 years ago or 80 years ago? And what can we incorporate now to make us better prepared for a more volatile geopolitical environment globally?